The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to present this amazing state tournament and celebrate the accomplishments of Iowa's student athletes. To the Iowa Farm Bureau, this is more than just a sport. It's hometown pride, it's hopes and dreams, it's our future leaders, it's a reason to do more and be more. And it's that farm strong spirit that can only be found in Iowa. Congratulations to the student athletes and coaches on a successful year, and remember, today's successes are just the beginning of tomorrow's achievements.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe it. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Frank, when you think Fairway, you think fresh. Is that the winning culture you've tried to create?
Penelope Pineapple, what an unbelievable produce performance. How does your team stay so fresh?
Sunkissed Orange. Is it true Fairway has offered the freshest produce in town since 1938?
What can we say? Our produce is so fresh, we're speechless.
You're watching the 2024 Iowa High School Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. We're at the opening day at State and have reached the Class 3A quarterfinals with an exciting matchup coming your way as the 8 seed. Forest City battles the top seed, Estherville Lincoln Central. And hello, basketball fans. Delighted to have you with us here courtside from Wells Fargo Arena in downtown Des Moines. Alongside my broadcast partner, Daniel Versteeg, I'm Hunter Phillips. And so, Daniel, the nerves are always here for the opening day at State. Class 5A already in the books, but now we have the 1 versus 8 clash. Two passionate fan bases, especially Forest City, first trip here to State. And then, of course, for ELC, a team that is only a couple years removed from winning the state title. This is an intriguing 1 versus 8 matchup.
Very intriguing, because not only is ELC a couple years removed from winning a state title, they're also 1 year removed from being upset here as the number 1 seed. And Forest City, obviously being here for the first time in school history, they're looking to make it 2 years in a row to upset the top seed. So, and two coaches that know each other so well. They've scrimmaged each other. They've played each other in regional tournaments. It's going to be a fun matchup.
Storylines aplenty for this one. Let's take a glance at each of these teams' road to State. Beginning with the 8 seed Forest City, who is making again its debut here at the state tournament and got here by way of upsetting number 5 Roland Story in the regional final. They rank inside the top 5 in the state in scoring and assists, so they like to really run up and down the floor. And then waiting Forest City is the top seed, Estherville Lincoln Central, who is back at the well for the 3rd consecutive year. The 2022 Class 3A champions raced past Spirit Lake in their regional final. And, of course, all eyes will be on one of the best scorers in the state, and senior guard Haley Stokes, who averages 24 points per game. So we'll go ahead and step aside for our first break. When we come back, we'll dive deeper into today's contest with the Seeds for Success presented by Channel Seeds, and then the starting lineups as we continue to count down to tip-off. This is the 2024 Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
This is our son, Sebastian. In 2021, he took half a pill he didn't know was counterfeit.
That tiny pill contained enough fentanyl to kill him almost instantly. Kids buy them on social media and share them with their friends, not realizing how dangerous they are.
Please talk to your kids about not taking anything that's not directly prescribed to them.
Our child will never get to grow up, but we want yours to be able to.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
When you choose Delta Dental of Iowa, you set a chain of good in motion because we invest in your community. So whether you get your plan at work or purchase it through us, you get more than great dental and vision insurance. You make a difference for others. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, and for your community.
Getting closer and closer to tip-off here in downtown Des Moines for the beginning of the Class 3A quarterfinals. It's Forest City battling Estherville Lincoln Central back here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. Let's go ahead and take a closer look into today's matchup with these seeds for success, which are brought to you by Channel Seeds.
Yeah, and it's an intriguing matchup we talked about for Estherville Lincoln Central. As the number one team in the state, you got to take care of the fundamentals. One of those is rebounding. When you don't play a player taller than 5'9", you're going to be a little undersized as far as rebounding, so you still got to focus on it and make sure you can take care of that here tonight in the state quarterfinal. For Forest City, survive the first few minutes, survive that first wave. You know ELC is going to press you. They are going to be pests. And if you can't get off to a good start, it's going to be a long night for you. So Forest City's got to survive that first wave and then be confident. You're at state. Just, let your shot come to you and don't hesitate in taking an open shot if it's there. Both for Estherville Lincoln Central and for Forest City, they get their offense going when they're confident in their shot, and I look for that to happen here tonight.
There you have it. This afternoon's Seeds for Success were brought to you by Channel Seeds. The enhanced Channel Seed brand is here to help farmers like you up your game and rise to the challenge. Learn more at channel.com/rise. We'll take another break here as we're getting ready to tip this one off here in Des Moines on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Estherville, Lincoln Central, and Forest City to tip off the Class 3A quarterfinals here at Wells Fargo Arena in downtown Des Moines. Hunter Phillips, Daniel Versteeg here with you on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. Two schools, two communities that are separated by just 70 miles will be reunited here at Wells Fargo Arena for state basketball. This will be the first of three 3A matchups here to close out our opening day here at state. Of course, Class 5A just wrapped up, so that field is set for the semifinals. And so, Daniel, when we focus on these two teams, again, polar opposites in terms of the experience here at the state tournament. You have ELC, third consecutive trip, of course. Were upset last year, something that they want to wipe away here, but certainly something that they have not forgotten about. But Forest City, what a magical ride for this team. So it's amazing to just think about what's going on in the minds of all of these student athletes here for both of these communities, because, again, it's a special time here for both of these sides.
Well, and especially for Forest City. I know they had pep rally after pep rally and celebration after celebration. You know, the 3A teams get kind of the unique thing of having kind of a full week or more, really. They get about 9 or 10 days to kind of relish in the fact that they're able to go to state. So Forest City was able to enjoy it. Estherville is always a great community to have down there. They enjoy it. And it's just fun that these two schools with some history against one another, the coaches have a ton of respect for each other, get to square off on the biggest stage in the state of Iowa.
Well, there's been a lot of build-up, and we're only just minutes away from tip-off. Let's go to our public address announcer to meet both teams.
Tonight's 2024 Girls State Basketball quarterfinal matchup featuring the Forest City Indians and the Estherville Lincoln Central Midgets. Fans, tradition is an important part of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union's storied history. Because our past is an integral part of what we do today, we ask that everyone in attendance please join in a round of applause to show our appreciation to all the women who have participated in high school athletics in Iowa. Once an Iowa girl, always an Iowa girl. Fans, at this time, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and the Iowa Farm Bureau would like to recognize the outstanding sportsmanship shown by Forest City High School and Estherville Lincoln Central High School. In recognition of the importance of good sportsmanship, each state qualifying school was asked to nominate a spectator who represents their school and community in a sportsmanlike manner. Peyton Leibolt from Center Point, Urbana, a member of the IGHSAU Student Athlete Advisory Committee, will present each nominee with their certificate of recognition and a $250 check payable to their school scholarship fund. Please join us in honoring these individuals whose decorum and respect for others serves as a model for all spectators attending interscholastic events. From Forest City High School, Mark Eggsdahl. And from Estherville Lincoln Central High School, Relia Held and Huxley Strobe. The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union promotes good sportsmanship by participants, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants, officials, and spectators in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or abusive comments, or intimidating actions directed at officials, participants, coaches, team representatives, or event personnel will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. We thank you for your cooperation and invite you to enjoy the game. Fans, it's now time to introduce the players in tonight's quarterfinal matchup. First, the non-starters and assistant coaches for the Forest City Indians. Number 1, Aubrey Miller. Number 5, Jaden Jerome. Number 10, Zoe Holmes. Number 12, Riley Miller. Number 22, Jet Luir. Number 24, Cadence Sletton. Number 30, Stella Lacor. Number 34, Jenna Donche. Number 40, Drew Seglem. And number 32, Brennan Geisen. The assistant coaches for Forest City, Patty Strukel and Clay Kaler, and Hannah Anderson. And now let's meet the non-starters and assistant coaches for ELC. Number 3, Kara Schultz. Number 12, Morgan Claybaugh. Number 21, Lexi Jurgens. Number 32, Zoe DeRuyter. Number 33, Jalissa Smith. And number 40, Evelyn Nath. The assistant coaches for ELC, Mitch Krine and Scott Stokes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce our starting lineups for both teams. For Forest City, a junior guard, number 2, Colette Logus. For ELC, a 5'5" senior guard, number 5, Tatum Dunleavy. For Forest City, a senior guard, number 3, Emma Anderson. For Estherville Lincoln Central, a 5'9" junior guard, number 20, Riley Jagger. For Forest City, a junior, a forward, number 4, Bethany Warren. For ELC, a 5'4" senior guard, number 22, JC Anderson. For Forest City, a sophomore guard, number 14, Hayden Brown. For Estherville Lincoln Central, a 5'6" junior guard, number 23, Haley Stokes. For Forest City, a sophomore guard, number 20, Alexi Eisenbrand. And for Estherville Lincoln Central, a 5'8" junior forward, number 34, Hillary Rushy. Head coach for the Indians is Matt Erpelding, and for ELC, Don Martindale. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the area in front of the scorer's table for the introduction of our officials for tonight's game. Bryant Abel. Jim Osterhaus. Justin Meyer. And the auxiliary referee, Brent Behrens. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for state tournament basketball.
And before we begin today's game, we'd like to once again thank the Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, for their support. The Iowa Farm Bureau has an office located in each county across Iowa, and we'd like to thank the offices listed on your screen for their support of the two teams playing in our game today. Thank you, Iowa Farm Bureau, for supporting the IGHSAU and the Iowa Girls. Final look at the starting lineups. It's a red wave here at Wells Fargo Arena. Forest City, Estherville, Lincoln Central, and we're off and running in the Class 3A quarterfinals. Estherville, Lincoln Central, the top seed, with the basketball to start. And the all-red uniforms is Forest City, corner 3, right out of the gates. And it is knocked down by Haley Stokes.
Another one of the keys we could have had for Forest City, don't lose Haley Stokes. She's one of the best players in this 3A state tournament.
ELC comes away with the steal with Stokes on the fast break, and she is fouled. So 30 seconds into this first quarter, and Haley Stokes already making her presence felt.
Yeah, and we expected nothing less. She's been here before. I mean, as a freshman, she was winning a state title and was captain of the all-tournament team. This is a player that kind of has made her name known, and obviously with this outside shot, and then turning it into turning defense into offense right afterwards.
1-for-2 trip at the line for Stokes, who has given ELC an early 4-0 lead. It will be Forest City basketball after a battle for the long rebound. Speaking of the 3-ball for Stokes, tied for 4th in Class 3A, making just about 2.5 triples per game. Going to be calling number 23's name often here tonight. And now here is Forest City, the 8th seed, in its debut here at the state tournament. A couple of turnovers here to start. Stokes deep 3 on the way. Doesn't reach the iron. Loose ball picked up underneath by Alexi IGHSAU.
And this would, kind of sound silly in a normal game. It's early, a minute gone, it's only 4-0, but this is a big possession for Forest City. Coach Erpelding said it, surviving the first 3 or 4 minutes, surviving the first wave, as we put it, you got to be able to have an answer quickly, otherwise Estherville Lincoln Central will run from you.
Just get those nerves out of the way, and that will help right there. Excellent ball movement leads to a Hayden Brown layup.
And movement without the ball. Hayden knew that the middle of the lane would be open.
Again, a team that ranks in the top 5 in Class 3A in assists per game. One and done trip down that end for ELC on the fast break. Forest City cashing in with Bethany Warren.
And a really good job. You could get so sped up here at the state tournament. Bethany Warren just calmly jump stop, little shot fake, gets an easy layup instead of trying to make it harder than it needed to be.
So both teams trade 4-0 runs. And now a 3 drilled by Hillary Rushy near side. 2 threes made by ELC here in the opening portion of the first quarter. And we're going to get a foul on the other end here for Forest City.
Well, you just love the confidence that the 8 seed is playing with here. I mean, this team didn't come here to be a first-round exit on the way for Estherville Lincoln Central to get back to the state championship. They're letting it fly, and you can see the confidence with what Colette Logus just did there, just stepping back and letting the shot come to her, and she gets 3 free throws because of it.
Pretty balanced scoring from the starting 5. Logus averages 11.5 points per game, second behind Hayden Brown, as we have our first substitution in for Estherville Lincoln Central. Substitutions are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Entertaining first 2 minutes here, the first quarter just getting underway. Stokes will give it up to Rushy. Those two have already made a 3-pointer to start. And now a quick look back for Stokes, who will be playing her collegiate basketball at Minnesota State Mankato. They have certainly done well in recruiting here in the state of Iowa. 7 on the shot clock here for Stokes. Throws one off the window and down. Just excellent touch. And Stokes already with an early 6 points here for ELC, who has the 3-point advantage. Back to work as Forest City. Anderson floats one up, no. Rebound by ELC.
One and done possessions are so killer against a team like this. And it was a good take. Just, again, go up confidently, go up strong, and you get a good look there.
Cross-court pass handled by Anderson. Down low, good spin. Just curling off the iron, does not go, but excellent transition defense halts Forest City at half court, and we're going to get a blocking foul underneath on Forest City.
I still don't know how Haley Stokes can seemingly be everywhere on the floor. She swats that ball, gets downhill. Schultz finds her on the outlet, and then she's back at the free throw line. She really does it all. She's only 5'6" and a junior. It's tremendous what she can do.
Averages 24 points per game. That's tops in Class 3A. Second in 3A in steals, 5.5 per game. So she gets it done on both ends of the floor. ELC 11, Forest City 6. Here with about 4.5 minutes remaining here in our first quarter. 7-2 run here as of late for ELC.
And I like what Forest City's trying. I mean, ELC's defense is an aggressive man style of defense. They want to get in your grill and make you uncomfortable. Forest City setting screens. They're trying to move without the ball, get free, try and twist around that defense a little bit. Just have not been able to get the shots to fall yet.
It's now for Forest City trying to come up with a stop on defense. Hillary Rushy attacking there on the dribble drive and draws yet another foul on Forest City. That'll be their third here in the quarter. We talked about the defensive intensity. Already 4 turnovers forced by ELC.
That's just what they do. It's a year in and year out, and game in and game out. They are an aggressive defense. They force 15 steals a ball game, and then they turn it into offense like this.
Riley Jagger drops that one down. 16 points per game, and here is ELC stealing the inbounds. Floater, no. But they grab their own miss. Ball will be going the other way. But everything hard-earned for Forest City here to start as we're at the halfway point of this first quarter.
And that's what ELC does, too. I mean, everything you do has to be intentional against Estherville Lincoln Central. Otherwise, if you're playing flippantly, it's going to show soon.
Jaden Jerome's three does not go. Racing ahead is ELC. Riley Jagger with consecutive points. Timeout on the floor here by Forest City. So while we have a timeout on the floor here, fans, level up your game at Central College. More than half of Central students participate in intercollegiate athletics because Central allows you pursue your passions and be more than a spectator. It's the best decision ever. Apply at central.edu. And speaking of pursuing, Daniel, how about ELC pursuing the basketball and really kind of catching Forest City off guard here? I mean, it's this feeling out process of the first quarter, but probably definitely a well-timed timeout by head coach Matt Erpelding just to settle down his troops.
Absolutely. I think if this timeout comes in later, it's probably too late. I mean, Estherville Lincoln Central is on a run right now that they're going to soon put this game out of reach. I mean, 5 turnovers and 5 points off those turnovers really are keeping ELC on top right now. And Forest City's just got to, I think the message was calm down, take care of the ball, get back to what we know how to do.
Paulette Logus, team leader in threes, buries a much-needed one to end what was an 11-2 run for ELC. And now directing traffic here is Haley Stokes. Hard to believe just a junior for ELC. Rushy from the top of the key and breaking up the handoff exchange is Bethany Warren. Hayden Brown gives it up, top of the key three. Off the mark there from Jerome. Rebound by ELC. Estherville Lincoln Central defeated Spirit Lake 57-38 in the Region 3 final to get back to state for the third consecutive year, looking for a foul underneath. There's J.C. Anderson. But then it's ELC coming away with yet another steal. Magical work in transition. Stokes for 2.
You just cannot take your eye off the basketball for a split second. They know when you are vulnerable, and they are going to take advantage of it. They do it again right there. Haley Stokes is just in the way.
From half court, Stokes. Bounce ahead. Good recovery by Forest City, but a travel is going to be called underneath on Bethany Warren. But yeah, that is now 7 turnovers caused by ELC, just wreaking havoc on Forest City to start this first quarter.
And when we talked about surviving the first wave, that's where you really needed to kind of keep those numbers down. The turnover numbers have to be much lower than this, otherwise Estherville Lincoln Central is just going to run away from you.
Stokes with 12 points for ELC, working around the contact. 10-point lead for Estherville Lincoln Central. Less than 2 to play in the opening frame. Passing lanes well covered by ELC here in the opening 8 minutes. Rushy got the ball knocked free there for a moment by Hayden Brown. It will remain ELC basketball.
That's also what makes Estherville Lincoln Central so good. That was a great recovery by Hayden Brown. She went to help on the drive by Schultz, came back and deflected the ball, but Estherville Lincoln Central just knows when that help's coming, when to dish it off.
Hillary Rushy going right to the glass and getting the finish. ELC playing with a purpose here to start this Class 3A quarterfinal up 21-9. Forest City hoping to be able to respond with a basket of their own and using a lot of glass there. Bethany Warren using the screen, navigating through traffic there to get the deuce.
Some will say the backboard is not pretty, but if the shot goes in, that's all you need.
1 minute to go, and what's been an exciting start here between ELC and Forest City. This 1 versus 8 matchup. Stokes with a head fake, slamming the door shut on the way is Hayden Brown. She's made some plays defensively here for Forest City to start. And a bump foul at midcourt will be called against Estherville Lincoln Central.
Yeah, right now Coach Erpelding, I'm sure, would love to clone a few Hayden Brown. She came for help on defense, recovered well, had the block shot there. She's really had a nice 3 or 4 possessions of strong defense down low.
Emma Anderson, the team captain, with the basketball here for Forest City. Handoff for Logus. Dials up the 3 and knocks it down.
That was a bomb from Colette Logus, and she had a big game against Roland Story. You knew she was going to have a big one here.
2 for 2 from downtown. She's got 8 points. ELC can hold for the final shot here of the quarter. Stokes, Euro step, can't finish with the left. Now we'll see what Forest City can do in the final seconds. Last second heave, there was a foul called. And it was on a 3-point try.
You're still down if you're Forest City, but you got to be pleased with how you finished this first quarter. Assuming a few of these free throws go in, you're right within striking distance, and that's really all you can ask for as an 8 seed here at the state tournament against a team who's been here before. You've never been here. Be within striking distance. Give yourself a chance as the game goes along.
Trailed by as many as 12 points. Second free throw doesn't quite get there for Brown, who is a 63.5% free throw shooter on the season. We see more IMT substitutions coming in with 0.1 ticks to go after this free throw is hoisted up. And that'll put a close to our opening quarter here at Wells Fargo Arena, the top seed. Estherville Lincoln Central will take a 6-point lead over the 8 seed Forest City into the second quarter. We'll be back with that after this on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
Level up your game at Central College. More than half of Central students participate in intercollegiate athletics because Central allows you to pursue your passions and be more than a spectator. It's the best decision ever. Apply at central.edu. Boy, the band is getting into it after an exciting first quarter.
Where can I get a hype guy like that? I mean, that's a guy I want in my corner
exactly.
every single day.
Boy, just the sights and sounds here at State. It is great to be back here.
Awesome.
At Wells Fargo Arena. You notice the new floor here at Wells Fargo Arena as well. Forest City will maintain possession here to start the second quarter. Hunter Phillips, Daniel Versteeg here with you courtside. And Danny, really a strong end to that first quarter for Forest City, ending on a 5-0 run after they were trailing by as many as 12 to ELC.
Yeah, that was exactly what the doctor ordered for Forest City. You needed to come back. You need to be within single digits. I think if you're within 10 points at any point in this game with ELC, you feel like you got a good shot. And as an 8 seed, you just need something to keep your players in it and keep their confidence up.
Seglum, good look with the floater there mid-post, off the back iron. But just trying to, again, get through that first 8 minutes, get the blood flowing, and then you just settle right in. Of course, Estherville Lincoln Central got off to a fantastic start, setting the tone both offensively and defensively, and a lot of it courtesy due to Haley Stokes.
Oh, Haley's grabbing her right upper leg there. She's trying to stretch something out. I saw she was grabbing at something earlier, too, and the fouls are being called, which is good if you're an ELC fan, but she has been played very physical here by Forest City. They're going to make her earn a lot of her points and her opportunities.
Yeah, took a tough spill early in the first quarter. Was a little slow to get up. Had 12 points in the opening 8 minutes. Rushie's layup too strong. Seglum from half court. Searching for Bethany Warren. Just a little too high and out of bounds. Yeah, that sense a little discomfort. Sorry to break you up there, Daniel, on the part of Haley Stokes.
And that's going to force somebody else for ELC to have an impact. They've been able to rely on 24 points a night from Haley Stokes. She might not be able to give you that. You need somebody else to kind of pick up her pieces tonight.
Stokes with the basketball far corner here for ELC and gets the friendly roll there on the floater. So playing with a lot of toughness, the junior Haley Stokes. 23-15 ELC over Forest City. Game was knotted up at 4 early on in the first quarter. Then an 11-2 run really helped ELC gain a bigger advantage. Just not on the same page there on that backdoor cut, that pass in there from Jaden Jerome.
You can't be too frustrated about that if you're Forest City. I mean, that's what they have to do to, get the open looks down low, get the high percentage shots. Just dial in the passes a little bit more. You're going to start finding the bottom of the hoop.
Euro step finish with the left for Stokes. Had 23 points in that win over Spirit Lake to punch their ticket here to state. ELC has won 14 consecutive games, and we're going to get a walk here on Emma Anderson.
This is another one of those opportunities where you got to have an answer if you're Forest City. Stop on the defensive end, find the bottom of the hoop.
So Colette Locus, one of 2 IMT insurance substitutions, re-entering the contest here for Forest City. J.C. Anderson gives it back to Stokes. Rushie trying to make a few moves there in the low post. Blocking foul underneath.
And Hillary Rushie is such a tough matchup down low because she's got great footwork. She's got the strength to be able to kind of muscle her way down there. And I mean, she's got really good footwork. The movement down there is just so impressive for a player who more often than not is a bit undersized for a post at only 5'8", but she holds her own well with some of the tall bigs that Forest City throws at her.
And again, only a junior for ELC. 73.5% free throw shooter this season. She hits on both. Estherville Lincoln Central, a very good free throw shooting team as well. They take advantage of their trips to the line, and they're up by 12, tied for their largest lead of the day. 5:15 remaining here in the first half. Forest City looking to get something going offensively. 3 won't fall. But it was Forest City that collected its own miss. It will remain with Forest City after the tap out there by ELC.
Great rebound by Logus. I would love to see her keep the ball down there along the baseline, down in the post. I know the three has worked for you here for a little bit in the first quarter. Need to be able to be versatile because right now ELC's playing so far out on you that those three-point shots are contested 10 times out of 10.
From the elbow, Eiselbrand, and there's a good finish there down low.
What a screen, too. Drew Seglem just planted her feet along the lane there and said, you're going to get run off of me.
But Stokes just so quick to be able to attack and transition right after either a make or a miss. That was the first basket of the second quarter for Forest City. Emma Anderson will check back in here for Drew Seglem, who just set that aforementioned screen to give Forest City its first set of points here in the second quarter. Stokes up top for three, puts it in.
If there's an unguardable shot, it's Haley Stokes, and then she takes it away too.
Right at half court. Can't get the follow, but that's what Stokes can do. Bury a three, and then a split second later come away with the steal. Jumper in the lane, no for Emma Anderson.
But you see the side effect of all that. Forest City feels like they need to, really rev up their engines. They're quickly the other way, which is good. You still got to be under control as you get to the hoop.
Deep three by Stokes, feeling it. Maybe a bit of a heat check there for the star junior, who despite any of the classes here in the state is one of the top scorers and has already put on a show with 19 points. Has knocked down 2 threes. She got the afternoon started with a three less than 10 seconds into the game, and Forest City, again, just a little bit out of sorts there. Not a lot of space in there along that far end of the floor. Give it back up to ELC. But another stat, again, just to keep an eye on. That's now 14 turnovers by Forest City to just ELC's 3.
And that tells you the difference right there. I mean, 13 points will be the difference, and points off turnovers too. ELC's just making it hurt. They score some more right there.
9 points here in the quarter alone for Stokes. Huge second quarter here for ELC. Hanging tough was Eiselbrand. There with several members of ELC's defense there in the low post and able to work a foul in. But 11-2, ELC has outscored Forest City here in this second quarter. Logus dumped down low. That'll help.
When you get down big, it's just human nature. You feel like you need to get it all back at once. Forest City, if they work it inside, they've got the height advantage. They can really take advantage of things down low.
First basket for the sophomore, Jenna Donchi. And we're going to get a timeout here for Estherville Lincoln Central. And it won't be a full timeout, so we'll take a break with them. 32-19 ELC on top here late in the first half on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Timeout on the floor called by the top seed Estherville Lincoln Central, who has the lead over Forest City 32-19. ELC has outscored Forest City 11-4 up to this point in the second quarter, led by 6 after the first quarter. And there you see the stat line for Haley Stokes. 21 points, 5 steals. And we still have plenty of time left in this first half. And oh, by the way, another 2 quarters left after that.
Yeah, I was just about to say, that quarter on your screen, that's not a typo. She has 21 points and 5 steals, not even to halftime yet.
Stokes has scored in a variety of ways, has knocked down 2 threes. He's also been able to get to the line, success in the paint. Just taking her time with the dribble here for ELC. Rushy, with less than 10 on the shot clock for Estherville Lincoln Central. Stokes, step back 3, was not going to count anyways, so a good stand for Forest City defensively. I'm hoping that can maybe spark something offensively.
Yeah, and if they continue to go inside, I've liked what I've seen when they go down to the high post and either work their way down low or kind of get a dump down pass to the block. Things are really working around the lane for the Indians.
So Forest City, how about this feed over to the corner? Locust doesn't get the 3, but Forest City gets the offensive rebound. Short there by Hayden Brown. How about another O-board here for Forest City, looking to battle their way back. And they weren't going to be denied on that trip. Emma Anderson with good touch.
If you're open, I like the three-point shot. But once you get some O-boards down there, keep it down low. And you saw what happened. Forest City got that second rebound. They worked it back down low. Mid-range jumper's there, and it's money right now.
Less than 90 seconds to play here in our first half. Off the screen, it's Anderson. Trying to force down low for Rushy, picked off by Forest City. And now they sprint the other way. But how about ELC with strong hands underneath, taking it away from Donchi. Big stand there for Estherville Lincoln Central as we have less than a minute to go in the half.
Really good quick hands from Dunlap. Saw the ball down at the waist of the post player and got her hand in there to make or force the issue.
Stokes with a quick look back. Coach Don Martindale, Rushy. 3 doesn't go. But a second chance opportunity here for ELC. With about a 2-second differential between the shot and game clock. Going through traffic, zigzagging, and Stokes will go to the line once again.
Mentioned her on the defensive side there, but Tatum Dunlavy once again just in the right place at the right time. She's given Estherville Lincoln Central some a really good minute or two here off the bench, and that's what they need. Just keep having some strong play off the bench and from your key contributors.
Stokes knocks down both. Forest City, one last possession here before going into the intermission. Bethany Warren using the screen now below the free throw line, backs it out. Hayden Brown has had a couple of good looks from 3. Can't get that one to connect. Rushy here in the final seconds, near side for Estherville Lincoln Central. Stokes with a last second heave. And that will take us to halftime here at Wells Fargo Arena in this Class 3A quarterfinal. The top seed, Estherville Lincoln Central, will go up into the locker room up 34-21 over Forest City. We'll go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll have our halftime report for you here after these messages on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision, to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Estherville Lincoln Central up by 13 here at halftime of this Class 3A quarterfinal against Forest City. Hunter Phillips and Daniel Versteeg, delighted to have you with us here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. And speaking of energy, Daniel, I mean, just what you wanted to see if you're Estherville Lincoln Central. You outscore Forest City by 6 there in the first quarter and really started to build its largest lead there in the second quarter, really keeping Forest City at bay. And Forest City has had some great moments here, but find themselves down by double digits at the break.
Yeah, but they're trying to figure out what's still working. And I think at halftime you're going to see some more adjustments from both these coaches, veteran coaches. Forest City started to work it down low. That looked a lot better for them here in the second quarter. Estherville Lincoln Central, you were kind of worried if you're an ELC fan about, this is another quarterfinal. Are we going to show up? They've been very focused. They played a near perfect first half, and you got to be pleased with that if you're an ELC fan.
So again, ELC led 21-15 after the first quarter and then outscored Forest City 13-6 there in the second quarter to have our score at 34-21. And now we'd like to take a moment to once again thank our title sponsor, the Iowa Farm Bureau, for their support of the state basketball tournament. Earlier this week, the IGHSAU had the opportunity to speak with Iowa Farm Bureau President Brent Johnson to learn more about the Iowa Farm Bureau's support of the IGHSAU and student athletes here across the state.
Thanks for joining us for the 2024 Girls State Basketball Tournament. I'm Matt Hominoff with the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. We want to thank all of our partners for all the great support we get from around the state. None more important than our proud title sponsor, Iowa Farm Bureau. With me today is the president of the Iowa Farm Bureau, Brent Johnson. Thanks for joining us, Brent.
Yep.
Why does the Iowa Farm Bureau feel so strongly about supporting the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and our tournament games?
Well, Matt, the Iowa Farm Bureau has been the title sponsor for the Girls Union now for 19 years. And once again, very proud to be a part of this year's state girls basketball tournament. And, this tournament highlights the work ethic, teamwork, resilience, and dedication that these girls have contributed for a year's worth of dedication to their craft. And just like that same spirit, the Iowa farmers are the best in what they do across this entire country, not only in production, but also in conservation. And you put all that together, and there's a lot here to celebrate.
Yeah. Your support for the IGHSAU goes beyond youth and education. What other support does the Iowa Farm Bureau provide Iowa's youth?
Yeah. Well, Matt, here at Farm Bureau, we believe that today's youth is tomorrow's leaders, and we're proud to support them in many different ways. One of those is by our scholarship program. Every single year, we give nearly $500,000 across the entire state to those kids so that they can continue their education at a higher level. We've also partnered with the Girls Union and the Boys Association now for several years to offer concussion insurance for those student athletes who compete in sanctioned sports across the entire state so that they can do so at a high level and feel safe doing so. And that is at no cost to that student or their families. Third, we've given teachers across the state nearly $500,000 so that they can properly equip their classrooms to do their jobs better. And most recently, just last year, the Iowa Farm Bureau gave the Iowa FFA Foundation $1 million so that they can properly place ag teachers and ensure that students across the state have an exposure to agriculture and how it affects their lives every day.
Yeah, so the students participating in this year's tournament are taking home some pretty neat souvenirs. But one new item that they're taking home are the championship ball caps. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. You know, the girls who are competing at this year's tournament are actually taking home quite a bit of swag this year. Of course, we have the bag tags and the signature basketballs that the girls have been used to seeing over the years. But this year, we've added a championship ball cap so that those girls who actually win the tournament have an extra souvenir to remember that if they put their minds to it, they can accomplish anything.
Well, thanks again, Brent, for both your and everyone at Iowa Farm Bureau's support of the Iowa girl over the years.
In Iowa, we grow corn. A lot of corn. Corn is what supports us. It feeds our livestock, it fuels our vehicles, and powers our state. It nourishes our families. A cash crop? Yeah, but it's way more than that. Corn sustains us. It's who we are. Without it, we'd just be... well, you get the picture. In Iowa, we grow corn. But the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
The thing I love about Clark is that you're never just one thing. I'm not just a student. I'm a future doctor. I'm an athlete on a history-making team. I'm a community member supporting the causes I care about. I'm a friend, a neighbor, a leader. At Clark, you can become anything. What will you be? Be you at CU.
Fans Official State Tournament merchandise is now available online. So now it's time to get your smartphones out. Just scan the QR code on your screen now or visit IGHSAU.org to browse and customize your merchandise to match your style. Back here at our broadcast location courtside at Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines alongside Daniel Versteeg. I'm Hunter Phillips. And so, Daniel, we've had a great atmosphere here. Really no surprise for this Class 3A quarterfinal. ELC is up by 13 here at the break against Forest City. And so now let's go ahead and take a look at our SUCUP first half stats. And there's a few areas that really lean in favor of the top seed ELC.
Yeah, it starts right away with the turnover margin. I mean, you can look at one thing and see how this game is going. 10 more turnovers. Then you turn 15 turnovers into 21 points. You're going to be doing some great things on the offensive end. They're shooting the ball so well. They're distributing well. When you turn the ball over that many times, get that many open court opportunities, to have 4 assists on 12 made baskets actually shows you're moving the ball pretty well, considering a lot of your baskets can be unassisted in that regard. For Forest City, I do like that they're kind of hanging with ELC as far as points in the paint are concerned. They're right with them in that regard, and that's something they got to keep looking for. They got the height advantage. They got to keep doing that. You can see it in the rebounding margin right now. Forest City needs a lot more one-and-done possessions for ELC. Force the rebound, or get the rebound, obviously, and then turn it into points down low. You're down 13. I know you want to shoot some threes to get back into the game right away. Take it slow, get some stops, turn them into easy baskets down low, and good things will happen.
And then individually, Collette Locust led the way there for Forest City with 8 points. She knocked down the 2 threes there for Forest City in that first half. And then, of course, Haley Stokes with 23 points. She was one of just 3 ELC members to hit the score column there in that first half, but 23 first half points for Haley Stokes there in the opening 2 quarters. And so, again, it is a 13-point lead for ELC. We'll take one final quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you the second half next here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to present this amazing state tournament and celebrate the accomplishments of Iowa's student athletes. To the Iowa Farm Bureau, this is more than just a sport. It's hometown pride, it's hopes and dreams, It's our future leaders. It's a reason to do more and be more. And it's that farm-strong spirit that can only be found in Iowa. Congratulations to the student athletes and coaches on a successful year. And remember, today's successes are just the beginning of tomorrow's achievements.
Just moments away from getting back underway here at Wells Fargo Arena in downtown Des Moines. Day one here at the 2024 Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau right here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. The top seed, Estherville Lincoln Central, up by 13 against the 8 seed Forest City. Of course, the winner of this game will go on to face the winner of the 4 versus 5 matchup. That is Mount Vernon and Harlan. This 3A field, Daniel's looking very, very stout. We'll close out the night with an 8:30 tip between the 2 seed Des Moines Christian and number 7 Benton. Those two teams met in the 3A quarterfinals last year. And then tomorrow it all starts with Solon and Waller Catholic. And so really up for grabs.
And you're seeing it kind of here with how good Forest City is playing Estherville Lincoln Central. I've said before, 4A I think is probably the most open bracket here at the state tournament, but 3A's not far behind. This is a really tough field. Des Moines Christian, Solon, all those teams, top 3, they're in danger, I think, as this tournament goes along.
1 half down, 1 more to go between Forest City and Estherville Lincoln Central, who will start the third quarter with the basketball. Stokes got the afternoon started with scoring. She opts to give it off to the far corner. Chasey Anderson's 3 is off the mark. It will be Forest City basketball. So they wanted to get a stop on its opening possession and now trying to eat into a 13-point deficit. Anderson, good lob down low for Brown. Just couldn't quite connect off the window.
I like the play, though. You get the double screen and you get the roll down the lane. Just couldn't get the shot to fall.
Rushy couldn't get that 3 to fall. Strong rebound brought down by Hayden Brown. Doing the little things that have made a big impact. Runner in the lane. It's not the shooter's touch there from Brown.
What a pass.
Work and transition. Dunleavy couldn't get the finish, but it will remain with ELC. So really a fast-paced start to this third quarter. Both teams trying to get the first set of points here to start the second half.
And that's how ELC wants it. When it's a fast-paced game, you've already played into ELC's hands. And that's why Forest City sometimes they need to, take a possession down to the shot clock and be very deliberate.
Riley Jagger really using her length to snatch that rebound, and seen already a pair of offensive rebounds to start this second half for ELC.
That was probably the only thing they were missing in the first half was second chances, opportunities off their misses, and now they're starting to crash the boards a lot more.
2 fouls already on Forest City. Rushy, too strong, near corner 3. Lucky bounce here for ELC, and putting the finishing touches on it is Haley Stokes.
When in doubt, find 23. Just a great jump stop, step through, and she's now already gotten her scoring average per game. She's got 25 already.
And earlier this year became the program's career scoring leader, really making her mark on this Estherville Lincoln Central program. Here she is on the fast break, taking it right there. Oh, how about the feed to the opposite side of the post? Riley Jagger, the beneficiary, to bounce it off and in.
We'll probably never know, but Haley's going to say that was a pass for sure. and I would believe her because she dropped a 50-foot dime just a few minutes ago. She's having a great game.
Big-time 3 made by Alexi Isebrand. Just her 7th made 3 of the season, but the first player since Colette Logus to make a triple for Forest City. 14-point lead for Estherville Lincoln Central. Head fake and the drive. Over the back here on Riley Jagger. And so for Jagger, that is her 3rd personal foul, something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, that's a tough foul to get because that is it for height for Estherville Lincoln Central, and the only way they're going to be able to contend when it comes to rebounding and Forest City attacking the post.
Estherville Lincoln Central has only had one player come off the bench here in this contest. Step back three, may have been partially tipped, believe it was by Rushy. So well read by ELC defensively. They will bring it on their end of the floor as we're approaching the 5-minute mark in the third quarter. Other than a brief tie in the first quarter, it's been all ELC here in this Class 3A quarterfinal. Stokes using the screen. Step back three on the way and puts it in.
What can't she do? I mean, you just don't see a better step back move. She gets just an inch of space, and she does that to you and puts you up 17.
Haley Stokes, dare I say, sizzling here in the quarterfinals. It just makes it look really routine. 28 points, 3 threes on today.
It helps when every year of your basketball career so far in high school has ended here at the state tournament, once in a title. But she's very comfortable here.
Collecting the loose change and the jumper putback. Doesn't go for Dunleavy. Logus brings it up herself for Forest City. ELC for the foul. That was Emma Anderson trying to work there along the baseline. So again, the player that head coach Matt Erpelding said is the team captain, really spearheaded the effort here for Forest City this season. Will be at the line to shoot two, and she makes the first.
And not to turn on a dime here, but that's the fourth foul against Riley Jagger, so she's got to check out. Don Martindale, he wanted to know if that should have been on Rushy. I thought Rushy was the one that got kind of the hip contact into Emma Anderson on that drive along the baseline, but evidently they get Jagger, so she's a foul away from fouling out.
So that takes away Estherville Lincoln Central's second leading scorer and someone who averages almost 10 rebounds per game. Still a lot of time left in this one, 3:45 and counting in the third. So in is Kara Schultz for Estherville Lincoln Central. Good swipe there by Forest City in the lane.
And now this is going to mean Rushy can't camp along the three-point arc. She's been able to do that for most of the game, but now she is your post. She's got to get down low. She's got to, be open on some cuts and have a big game, going up against players that probably have 3-4 inches on her on any given assignment.
Shot clock winding down here for ELC. Schultz. Anderson. Three doesn't go. Wouldn't have counted anyway. Shot clock violation, the second on the afternoon for ELC. So now it's about Forest City being able to, again, methodically piece something together here, and that certainly helps forcing a turnover.
Yeah, you need stops and scores of any kind, and now Forest City's, I think, number one prerogative has got to be find the post. Hayden Brown, get it to her, let her go to work like she is right now.
Logus. Floater doesn't quite get there.
Great takeaway.
The takeaway by Anderson. And gets the layup up and in. Great effort individually there by the senior to give some life back to Forest City. Seen these moments from Forest City, but trying to string together a long run to really begin to put the pressure on the top seed, Estherville Lincoln Central. Rushy. Back out Anderson. High arching three. Does not go, and Forest City opts to let it bounce out of play.
Wise choice. And now you're starting to feel the ball rolling just a touch. If Forest City can get a basket on this end, they got to feel really good as this quarter starts winding down.
Representing the top of Iowa Conference from Winnebago County, Forest City, here in its debut at state, looking to make some noise. Logus got the ball tipped, by guess who? Stokes. Coast-to-coast finish.
And a 30-burger while she's at it, too.
Being aggressive at half court, and then Rushy comes away with a second consecutive steal for ELC as a team. But just when Forest City was able to build some kind of momentum, Stokes just is able to put it away with a steal and finish. Rushy off the tip. 3 rolls in and out. Put back and rebound, no. But it will remain with ELC. Both teams really getting after it here in the latter stages of this third quarter.
Yeah, I'm loving what ELC's doing now. They're really crashing the glass. They're finding the open lane, and they're just uncontested, not getting boxed out.
So we are going to have a timeout here by Forest City. You know, one area, Daniel, that we haven't really talked about, Don Martindale, now in his 7th season with Estherville Lincoln Central. He has 359 career wins. Meanwhile, for Forest City, their head coach, Matt Erpelding, also over 300 career wins, notched that earlier this year, led WCLT to trips to state in 2007 to 2008. So 2 coaching staffs that are familiar with one another, have a lot of respect for one another, but have accomplished a lot.
Yeah, but the thing you mentioned there, the respect for one another. Coach Erpelding, he said it's an honor to be able to, compete against a Don Martindale coach team. They played in regional semifinal before, but nothing like this. And they scrimmage each other way early in the year. And this is really cool for both coaches. Coach Martindale's a Hall of Famer in the Girls Coaches Association. Erpelding probably will be at some point. This is the second time he's led a team to their first ever state tournament. You mentioned WCLT was at state 2 years in a row. Those were their first 2 years at state. So just fantastic jobs by both these 2 coaches of 2 programs that know each other very well.
We talked about that meeting most recently in 2021. Estherville Lincoln Central won that contest. And then prior to that, 2013, that's where Forest City notched the victory over Estherville Lincoln Central. And out of the timeout, Stokes working it in the mid-post, and she will walk her way back to the free throw line.
She is just such a tremendous creator. She creates opportunities, whether that's offensively with scores, defensively with turnovers, and then defense turning into offense. She just creates so many things, not only for herself, but then for her teams. She passes a lot of girls open.
We saw Lexi Isobrand back in for Forest City. Again, substitutions are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at IMTINS.com. 18-point lead for ELC. Closing in on 1 minute to go here in the third quarter. Good scoop and finish there in the low post. ELC quick to dump it off to the other end of the floor. Now some high ball pressure being placed here by Forest City. Stokes with the Euro step, and then the runner tossing it off the center of the glass and down. Again, creator, probably the best way. I think you just described it perfectly, Daniel, how she is able to score in such a variety of ways. And another takeaway here for ELC. Some contact there along the baseline. Still will be, I guess it will go back to Forest City basketball. Hanging tough there was Hayden Brown.
And if we got a replay of that last shot, it would have showed you that she just looks off a defender. She's looking one way, but she knows the other way is going to be the way to go, and that's what really creates the opportunity for her.
And speaking of creating, Lexi Isobrand, sophomore, will be at the free throw line, drawing the foul. Forest City today 4 of 8 from the line. Isobrand with 5 points on the afternoon, splashes down the first. Colette Logus still is the leading scorer for Forest City at 8 points, has not scored here thus far in the second half. 2-for-2 trip there for Isobrand. And the lead is 16 for ELC. They can hold for the final shot. 13-10. Estherville Lincoln Central's outscored Forest City thus far here in the third quarter after leading by 13 at half. Stokes adds to that lead once again in what has been a brilliant performance now with 36 points. Half court, it was on target but didn't reach the iron for Hayden Brown, so 3 quarters down. One more to go in this Class 3A quarterfinal. It's been all about the top seed, Estherville Lincoln Central. They lead 49-31 over Forest City going into our fourth and final quarter, which we'll have for you after this on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Frank, when you think Fairway, you think fresh. Is that the winning culture you've tried to create?
Penelope Pineapple, what an unbelievable produce performance. How does your team stay so fresh?
Sun-kissed orange. Is it true Fairway has offered the freshest produce in town since 1938?
What can we say? Our produce is so fresh, we're speechless.
The Iowa Bankers Association is the proud sponsor of the Parade of Champions and the Iowa Student Achievement Award. Both of these teams have achieved great things this season, making it here to the Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. Final quarter of action here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. Forest City started the fourth quarter with the basketball, but it is Estherville Lincoln Central that forces turnover number 20 on Forest City today. And they have the 18-point lead and the basketball. Hunter Phillips and Daniel Versteeg here with you. And Daniel, we've seen some really good moments from Forest City. The 8th seed again making its debut here at State, but just when they've been able to build some momentum, it's been Estherville Lincoln Central with a combination of defense and, oh, by the way, 36 points from Haley Stokes that have kept Forest City at bay.
Yeah, just a little footnote there on this game. We're gonna get a jump ball. The shot clock was winding down, so that was kind of the weird shot there from Haley Stokes, and I think that's why they're talking about this here, because the arrow would have it as ELC's ball, but the shot clock doesn't reset on a jump ball if the possession's kept. So, that could turn into some momentum for Forest City again. I liked what they did on the offensive end. Sometimes you got to be a little unselfish. If you got an opportunity underneath the hoop, you got to take advantage of it. And Lexi and Isobrand unfortunately just gave it off, and that led to the turnover.
So our officials will head over to the scorer's table just to be able to make sure that everything is all set here as we're a minute into this fourth quarter. Going down some of the statistics here while we have a break. Both teams pretty even in terms of field goal percentage at just a dip below 43%. But then you look at three-point shooting, Forest City 3 of 11 here this afternoon. ELC 4 of 15. Both teams have shot an identical amount of free throws. But again, it has come down to the turnovers, 20-8, so plus 12. Of course, points off of turnovers huge for ELC. Here's another look for Haley Stokes. Didn't have much time to operate. And here is Forest City zipping the other direction.
Great pass.
Had the good feed and good recovery. Down low for Donchi, who's got 4 points here this afternoon.
Yeah, she fumbled it for a second, and that's we might be watching saying, why don't she go up with it? Well, she didn't have possession, and that was just a great recovery. Realized the defender had kind of abandoned her, and she got an open look because of it.
J.C. Anderson finds Dunleavy. Off the mark 3. Colette Logus has done a lot of great things today. Had a spill their way from the ball. Both players get up. And that went right off the sneakers there of Isobrand. And now ELC brings it in the other way. Stokes, why not?
You see it happening, and it's like there's no way that shot's going to go in, right? And then it goes in, and you shouldn't be surprised, but you somehow are. Haley Stokes is just on a mission right now.
And you just knew that a year ago after falling to Vincent Schellsberg that this was going to be the redemption tour for ELC. Rushy leaves that one just a tad short. But then active hands, collision. Here the other way, it will remain Forest City basketball, but have to break out the record books here. 39 points. Still 5.5 remaining here in this fourth quarter. A 52-33 point advantage for ELC.
If you're curious, the 3A record for points in a game is 48. Somebody by the name of Ellie Ruffridge. You might have heard of her once or twice.
Yep. State's all-time leader in career scoring. No big deal.
No big deal, yeah.
Going to get a foul here on ELC, but we did see history in the Class 5A quarterfinals. Grace Knutson of Cedar Falls made 8 3-pointers in their victory over Davenport North. Don Staley was in attendance to see Divine Burridge, who also had a good game, but that record for Grace Knutson, it broke the 5A single-game record that was held by a player by the name of Caitlin Clark and Eiley Tenke, who will be heading to Iowa State, and ties the aforementioned Ellie Ruffridge for most in the single game of any class here at State.
I've never heard of that Clark girl. I wonder whatever happened to her.
You know, it seems like the other day she broke some sort of NCAA Division I scoring record.
Oh, yeah, I think I did. There was a quick blip about it on the bottom of one of my tickers somewhere, yeah. No, that and it's just this tournament, you do see the future of college and even professional basketball. It's the best girls basketball tournament in the country. I can say that with bias, without bias.
Logus with a nice bucket there to wait for the flyby and the free throw line jumper. Timeout here on the floor called by Forest City. So I believe we're going to stay here with 5:12 remaining. 52-35 ELC over Forest City. And so, again, I'm biased too.
Yes.
You know, just full disclosure, but just the Iowa girl being put on full display here. So much rich history. You know, Tammy Blackstone, who is a part of our coverage here on the Girls Union Network, is, you know, a former Miss Iowa basketball, is Drake's all-time leader in career blocks from Cherokee. Of course, Ellie Ruffridge is a part of our coverage as well. And it's just, it's amazing to see the history that's continuing to be made and also celebrating the past as well.
And props to the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, and props to Jean Berger, who announced her retirement, the executive director of the union. The things that she has done and the things the Girls Union have done for the Iowa girl to put her on display, second to no one, and just really a great showing here at the state basketball tournament.
Certainly well said. Riley Jagger back in for Estherville Lincoln Central after picking up her 4th personal foul back in the third quarter. Dangerous cross-court pass collected by Alogus. Surrounded by 2 members of ELC, but Haley Stokes is not today. Coming up to just knock that out of the hands of Forest City in the low post. defending the inbounds, and very well just active hands all the time for ELC. A nice post feed from Hayden Brown, finding Donchi, who gets another basket here at State. 54-37 ELC with 4:15 to go.
And now ELC's in control of the scoreboard, so they can be in control of the clock. They can slow it down a bit.
Looks like we're going to get a tie-up here. Possession arrow Forest City, so.
Of course, ball security is also implied if you're going to do that.
Forest City said, well, we need to turn things up a notch here a little bit, and so take matters into your own hands, and they will be back with the possession here. And what a storied season here for Forest City. They'll be looking to build off of it next season. Have 5 juniors, 7 sophomores, and 1 freshman, so you know that they'll be tough to beat in the top of Iowa Conference.
Oh, yeah.
Next year.
And only one of their starters is a senior, so they're gonna be back. I have no doubt about it. This is not going to be the last we hear of Forest City down here.
Now Emma Anderson, that one and only senior starter, as we get a foul here on Forest City, playing in her 93rd career game today, which is a school record. Certainly a senior that has helped lead this team, encourage this team on and off the floor. It'll be fun to watch Forest City moving forward. ELC trying to navigate off some pressure from the out of bounds. And how about Forest City with a flurry here? Hayden Brown, the transition lay in. Down to a 13-point lead here for ELC. Again, ball security, just trying to take care of the ball.
And maybe this is one of those scenarios where slowing it down actually hurts ELC because of how fast they go. Taking time off the clock is not in their repertoire.
Oh, and you can sense some frustration from Don Martindale. Will be a full timeout, so we will take one with ELC, who leads by 13 here in the waning minutes of the fourth quarter on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Well, a lead that was as many as 19 points for ELC has been dropped down to 13 thanks to a feisty Forest City bunch. But still 3 minutes and 13 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. You see the big day for Haley Stokes. 39 points, 6 steals, 5 rebounds. Colette Logus, 12 points for Forest City. And in terms of fouls, ELC has 3 team fouls committed here in this fourth quarter. Only 1 for Forest City, so you know that they're going to be a bit aggressive here down the stretch.
Yeah, that might not have been the time to do it, though. You're down double digits, and unfortunately you had 15 on the shot clock to kind of try and force ELC into something, but with the shot clock resetting, that kind of turns things there.
Now, especially when back-to-back fouls are called within a few seconds span. So now the fouls are evened up in terms of timeouts. ELC with 3, Forest City with 2. Forest City has outscored Estherville Lincoln Central 10-5 here in this fourth quarter. Getting her mitts on the basketball, Isabrand, and now a mad scramble for the loose ball. Well, how about ELC coming in to help Stokes?
What an effort by Lexi Isabrand, too. She just went up with the best player in the 3A field in Haley Stokes and made her life miserable. Coach Erbelding calls Isabrand the Energizer Bunny. She just kept going. She just stuck with it and really made Haley Stokes, kind of panic a little bit there.
And on cue, the Energizer Bunny has her eyes on Haley Stokes, but Stokes has her eyes on the basket. She now has 41 points after that layup. Logus knocked down 2 threes today. Doesn't go. How about the rebound and the follow by Hayden Brown, who's really put together a solid evening.
She's been able to be the consistent kind of player down low for Forest City. That's exactly what they need.
Rushy working through. And the basket is not going to count. I'm going to say that the foul occurred on the exchange when she brought the basketball in. But either way, ELC is in the bonus from here on out.
Yeah, it's going to result in shots and some points anyway. If you're an ELC fan, you hope these go in, and one does. So, now Forest City has to really take advantage of every offensive possession because you're probably going to give up at least 1 or 2 points now for ELC on every possession. You got to answer with something every time down the floor.
Rushy hits both free throws. 9 points on the day. Mid-range J connected on by Emma Anderson at the elbow. Stokes has to give it up. Anderson collects. Transition, Rushy. Off the mark on 3. She's 1 for 8 from downtown here this afternoon. Right idea on the bounce pass for Isabrand, but ELC more times than not, they have just wrapped up those passing lanes as we're closing in on the final minute and a half of this one. Forest City has really made ELC battle here, especially in the fourth quarter as they turn over Estherville Lincoln Central. Spot up 3. Would have been big had it gone in, but charging in to get the rebound and the putback is Emma Anderson. And she has 11 points. A timeout will be called here by Estherville Lincoln Central. Full timeout here on the floor. So we'll take a break once again. 11-point ball game here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
What a flurry from Forest City here in the fourth quarter, trimming the Estherville Lincoln Central lead down to 11, 58-47. Our score. Timeout was recently called by ELC with 1 minute and 14 seconds remaining. What about the fight here down the stretch from Forest City, especially here in this fourth quarter where they have really tightened up the pressure on ELC.
Yeah, and they've done just pretty much exactly what they need to come back in this game. Unfortunately, they were in a big hole, but now they're forcing turnovers. They're getting offensive rebounds. Those second chances are starting to pay off for them.
And again, Estherville Lincoln Central is in the bonus. Ooh. Emma Anderson thought that maybe she got the clean swipe, but a whistle and a foul will put ELC back at the line. Forest City here in this fourth quarter, as we have it updated, is outscored Estherville Lincoln Central 16-9.
It's kind of a combination of ELC not, taking care of the ball, not doing the things they're expected to do on the offensive end, and Forest City's capitalizing on second chances. They're turning the ball over, and they're getting the shots they need to fall.
Forest City has forced 7 ELC turnovers here in the second half. Anderson still scoreless today for Estherville Lincoln Central. 0 for 2 trip. Now working there on the backdoor cut along the baseline. Good look there for Isabrand, but cleaning up the miss is Estherville Lincoln Central. Less than a minute to play. Stokes gives it up for Hillary Rushy. Now ELC tries to play keep away here from Forest City. Stokes This time gets a little bump.
And you could tell, I mean, just the energy these teams are expounding here in this game. And Stokes has had to do a lot for ELC. The rest of her team has not been able to find the bottom of the net like they normally do, but she has today. And you can tell it's starting to show as far as the tiredness and hands on her knees and heavy breathing. But she's played a great game so far.
It's left it all out there. So we have IMT insurance substitutions coming in. Stokes with 43 points today. Absolutely brilliant performance from the top scorer in Class 3A. Forest City still putting a lot of fight in here. Got a reach-in foul on Forest City to put Stokes back at the line. And you talk about, of course, not only the great basketball players, but a lot of tremendous multi-sport athletes. Estherville Lincoln Central, 6 members from their state softball team that finished 3rd place are on the squad, and a lot of great track and field athletes specifically for Forest City. So really put on a good showing here to start this Class 3A field. Final seconds wind down here. Estherville Lincoln Central, the top seed, making a statement here in the quarterfinals, head to the semis as they top Forest City 61-47. Congratulations to Matt Erpelding's Forest City Indians for finishing the year at 21-4 and finishing the year where you want to at the state tournaments, and for Estherville Lincoln Central, after wiping away what was an upset last year, well on their way to working well through this 3A field. Again, they will await the winner of our next matchup, which will feature Mount Vernon and Harlan. And here in just a few moments, we'll turn things to our public address announcer once again for the trophy presentation.
Fans, please direct your attention to the court for the awards presentation. In addition to receiving medallions, each participating player will receive a commemorative basketball provided by the Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Presenting awards from the IGHSAU are Gene Berger and Gary Ross. Congratulations to head coach Matt Erpelding and the Indians from Forest City on an outstanding basketball season. And now, J.C. Anderson will advance her team to the next round on the official bracket at center court.
So Estherville Lincoln Central moves on to the Class 3A semifinals, and again, they will await the winner of our next game coming up here at Wells Fargo Arena between Mount Vernon and Harlan. Again, our final score 61-47. Estherville Lincoln Central over Forest City. So on behalf of our entire team, led by our producer Justin Wolber, and for my broadcast partner Daniel Versteeg, I'm Hunter Phillips, signing off here from Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, and we thank you for watching our live coverage of the 2024 Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union